Hi everybody, welcome back to our fourth video in the lecture series on bonds payable. We left off in the last video with the calculation in three different methods of the semi-annual bond interest expense of $12,116.67. for our bond that was issued at a discount. So carrying on with that, we need to record the journal entry for the first semi-annual bond interest payment, and we're going to use the straight line method to amortize the discount, which means the bond interest expense on a semi-annual basis will be $12,116.67. So let's write the journal entry. So we're going to debit bond interest expense for the calculated amount of $12,116.67, and we're going to credit cash for $10,000 because that's the amount of the bond interest payment. But the journal entry, as you can see, is not in balance. We need to credit something for the difference between the expense and the actual payment. And that difference, of course, is 2116.67. And what we're going to credit is that contra liability account, discount on bonds payable. Each of the 6 times we make a bond interest payment of $10,000 to our bondholders during the life of the bond, we're going to make this very same journal entry, which means that the amount in the discount on bonds payable account is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller until it gets down to 0 by the time we finish our payments for the bond interest. I want to show you how this works with a bond amortization table and a calculation of the T account for the discount on bonds payable. There's another important definition, however, that we need to talk about before we do the amortization. The carrying value of a bond issued at a discount is par value minus the unamortized discount. At the date of issue, we had a $250,000 par value and a discount of $12,700. Do you remember that up in this journal entry? We debited discount on bonds payable of $12,700 and we credited bonds payable $250,000. Because this is a credit and this is a debit, and they are attached to each other because this is a contra liability account, then the carrying value is the difference between the two. So carrying value of a bond issued at a discount is the par value minus the unamortized discount. Par value of $250,000 less unamortized discount of $12,700 meant that on the date of issue, our carrying value of that bond was $237,300. Every time we make a bond interest payment, we're going to make this very same journal entry. That means every time we make a bond interest payment, we are going to credit discount on bonds payable. We had originally debited the account when we issued the bond for $12,700, and every time we make each of the 6 bond interest payments throughout the 3 years of life of the bond, we're going to credit the account for $2,116.67. And we're going to do that twice a year for 3 years. Watch what happens here. This is pretty cool. So after 3 years of making semi-annual bond interest payments and crediting the discount on bonds payable each time, then we're going to get down close to a zero balance. We have a 2-cent rounding problem. So instead of this being $2,116.67 credit in the last payment, we're going to make that 2,000.65, and it gets the balance down to zero. So every time we make a bond interest payment, we're going to reduce the amount of the discount on bonds payable until that gets down to zero. Let me show you how that works on the straight line amortization table for the bond. First of all, the par value of the bond never changes. It always stays at $250,000 in this example. As we already stated, the unamortized discount is going to get smaller every time we credit the account by a piece of the discount. The unamortized discount after the first payment will be $10,583.33. And if the carrying value is the par value minus the unamortized discount, then the par value is going to get bigger as the carrying value is going to get bigger as the unamortized discount gets smaller. You go ahead and finish this schedule. Don't forget to round the last payment by 2 cents and see if you end up with 0 in the unamortized discount column and $250,000 in the carrying value column. When you finish your work, start the video again and check your answer. Here is the completed straight line bond amortization schedule for this bond that was issued at a discount. Well, that's it for this video. When we come back, we'll start talking about a bond that is issued at a premium.